Guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wherever you're joining us from this morning, we're happy and delighted to be back in studios for a couple of hours. Put you on notice, it's just for a couple of hours. Gotta tell myself, don't get too excited. It's just for a couple of hours, but good to have all of you folks on the live. You all know we're in the home stretch for the campaigning as we head into the 2025 September 1 general and regional elections. And so happy to have all of you folks with us this morning. We've been gone for a couple of days, but we know that you wonderful folks, you all understand it, that we can't always be here because we got to be on the ground, getting you folks the valid and credible information. That's what we committed to. And we hope that you guys, not that we hope, we know that you guys support us on that front, bringing you folks each and every day the valid and credible information. Now, I love being on the ground. Love it, love it, love it. Being out there talking with people. And, you know, the last few days, it has been so special. Special, so special, so special. It's been so special being out there and listening to the concerns of the folks on the Upper Mazzaroni corridor. Such a vast expanse of land. You know, we were going by boat for 2 or 3 hours by boat, and you're still in Region 7, Upper Mazzaroni. This country is so vast. It's so big and beautiful. I don't know how we got land problem. People can't get, you know, proper dwelling. Well, at least people on the coast. Maybe that's the problem. Too many of us want to live on the coast. You know? But you could get a foreign company that comes, Gwyneth, Anthony, Allison, and gets 600 acres of land. It's easy as that. And you right here, Andrew and Beatrice, Mandy, and them boys won't give you 0.5 of an acre, 0.3 of an acre. If you see untouched land in this country, right, that our indigenous brothers and sisters have kept intact, and then these guys want to come and get them 15%. But we're saying at least the starting point must be 50%. The starting point must be at least 50% of the LCDS money. Land as far as the eye can see. And we're still in the upper Mazaruni, Region 7. We income, if they got an upper, you got a lower. This is Bartley concern is low. Now you got middle mass. Isanaru and those places, middle. We just in upper. 3 hours we on boat. Right? Speed boat. And you're still on the water going through. It was so amazing. It was so amazing, you know. So amazing. Being on the trail with our prime ministerial candidate, ready for dance over the last few days. Had a fantastic, you know, really, really fantastic time. I had a great time. As a matter of fact, I had a great time. Take a look.
Putting people first.
A new day is rising for our indigenous communities. I, Jaretta Finance, will lead the charge. With a heart for the people and a passion for justice, I will fight for real solutions that honor our traditions and improve our daily lives. Now is a time to believe again, to hope again, and to stand together for a brighter future. Let's raise our voices and take our place in shaping Guyana's tomorrow. Vote APNU, putting people first.
Yeah. Had a great time. Had a really, really great time with the folks there. And we're going to have Twitter on, quite soon, maybe reflecting on some of what transpired over the last week there. So look out for that. We're going to talk about it, reflecting on that. The last week we've had. It was a great week. All things being equal. We're going to reflect on that. How are you folks doing this morning? How are you folks doing? It's so much happening. You know, and I dare say, if you can't do the time, you know, don't do the crime. Let's start here. One of the issues we're looking at this morning. Good to have all of you on the live, wherever you're joining us from. Grateful for all of you, those of you joining us on the Tube, those of you who are joining us on Facebook. Grateful to have all of you. We've got close to 500 persons watching us across social media. And let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Folks saying they're not getting a notification for the shows. Beatrice, Mandy, Paul, Brennan, Marlon, Richie. Good to have all of you on the broadcast this morning. Let's start here. We saw this headline: Linden teen gets 2 years over gun possession, unlawful gun possession. This is Ricardo Paul, 19 years. He was arrested on the 29th of July, charged on the 30th for unlawful possession of a firearm. Now, we say this without fear of contradiction, successful or otherwise. The law in this country must apply to everybody. And if Ricardo can't do the time, don't do the crime, Ricardo. Don't do it. Young and old alike. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. But it's very interesting and instructive. Shamila, Jacqueline, and Glenford. It's very instructive. The law seems to work quick like that for some people. And then some others, not so much. Quick, fast, and in a hurry for some folks. And then some others, no. Case in point. You all remember, right? You all remember another fellow from Region 10. What's his name again? Quite recently. What's his name? I know the answer, by the way. I just want to make sure you know the answer, right? I'm watching the comments. You all remember the fella from Region 10? What's his name again? Oh, shucks. He was just sentenced with fraud. Fraud. In Region 10, Linden. You remember the fella name? Right. Aye, Deborah, you're right there. Fire, Deborah, fire. Know the answer. I just trying to spurn thinking. Thinking. Yeah, Kevin Lorimer. He was sentenced. Right? Trying to defraud people. He's still by the police station, or he in Camp Street or Lusitnan or wherever they carried him. 9 months in prison. How long ago was he sentenced? Is it a month yet? But like the sentence he to hospital? Like the sentence Kevin Lorimer to hospital? Huh? As we say colloquially, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I love how we use language. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Like the sentence Lorimer to hospital. They said he wasn't feeling well and all of that, and the police station there in Linden had refused to turn him over to the prison authorities. Was it a hospital sentence? I mean, y'all tell me if I'm wrong, man. Y'all know how we see it. Right? Y'all know how we see it. So Kevin Lorimer is the name of the fella. Right? Kevin Lorimer. Weeks ago, PPP supporter. Right? You all know how to vacillate. 2 mornings, they were the afternoon, things are looking bright, and they shift over. These chameleons and snakes. They shed the skin, Melissa April. They shift over. Alex, they shift. Is he in police custody yet? I'm saying, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. And we saw this story this morning of this young man, Ricardo, what's his name? We saw this story, how quick he was sentenced. Ricardo Simon Paul, apprehended, arrested, charged and sentenced 2 years. Is Lorimer still at is it Mackenzie? Police station, Wisma? Is he still there? I just want you guys to see how the law under the PPP is applied literally disproportionately. Right? And I know, because so many things happen on a daily basis, you all perhaps have already forgotten this one. Right? Already forgotten this one. This other story here. You all remember Minister Sonia Paragnis? Huh? You all remember that incident? Tell me if you remember it. Beatrice, Desiree, Anita, you all remember the issue. Who's sharing the live this morning, folks? Because somebody smashed that emoji button for us. Please and thank you. You all remember Paragnis? What was the girl name? Beatrice? Pamela? What was the young lady's name? Again, I know the answer. I'm just trying to push you all a little bit this morning. Again, I understand, because you got so many things happening. You blink in this country, you miss 1,000 issues. You all remember that? You all remember the issue? Maybe I should start there. Concerning Sonia Paragnis. Huh? You all remember that? She was a staff at DPI. They're doing more than covering the news over there. They're making news, literally. Huh? And looking at the comments, Sonia Paragnis. Sonia Paragnis was held at the Chetty Jagan International Airport with drugs. with cocaine. The mother went to court. Was she sentenced? Remember they sent her for psych evaluation? You remember that? They had sent her for a psych evaluation. That's about 2 years ago. The evaluation never come back. You remember during the time of the psych evaluation, we saw the girl in the cricket luxuriating at the cricket. You remember that? I keep telling you so many things happened. This just, when we saw this headline this morning, it just took us right back. Right back to Janelle and Lorimer. You remember the lady who bit the policeman because he tells she got the back in the line by the Emerald Harbor Bridge? She didn't even meet the court. She did not even meet the court. Caught on camera biting a policeman. Again, we're just using the case of this young man, Mr. Simon. Right? He apparently could do the times. He did the crime. Ricardo Paul, 19 years old, gun possession, 2 years in jail. Right? But Janelle, right, who was apprehended, intercepted with cocaine and cherry jagan, still luxuriating outside the prison. Lorimer, still luxuriating, enjoying all the benefits of a free law-abiding citizen. Dalrymple, who bit the policeman, never saw a police door, much more court step. Y'all think you understand the realities of living in this country? Pamela says luxuriating outside the prison, correct? And I'll give you this last one before I hop on to another issue. This young man is Mr. Simon. He could do the time, see, he did the crime. 19 years old, he's going to be 21 when he comes out. A couple days ago, you saw big headlines. Right? Big headlines. Minister House comes under fire. I could see Robeson. He always blaming elements of APNU, PNC in the diaspora. He ready. He ready. Says them boys coming after us. Minister House comes under fire. Right? Do you remember that? 19 shots, if I remember correctly, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, discharged in the direction of the minister's house. 19 shots. Right? 19. And then when the story come out, when the story emerged, what was of interest, they said, rich teenager, frolicking around by the minister's house, fire 19 shots. 19 that hit the house, apparently. Never been to police station. Never been to court. Rich teen, that's all. No name, no warrant. And shooting Scoot Ben, ready to say, APNU, attempted assassination. You know how they crave a pity party How they crave whining. Oh my God, I hate people who can whiners and complain all the time. I ain't talking about fine wine. I ain't talking about tiny whiny. I'm talking about complainers. Oh, they like to complain. Attempted assassination. They like them kind of things. To get some pity. 19 shots. Jesus mercy. And all you got in this story, rich teen. No name ever mentioned. Never placed under arrest. Never passed through the courts. But you see 19-year-old Ricardo Paul, who could have do the time and did the crime. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. The point we're making is the disproportionate way in which the law is applied in this country. The disproportionate way. That's the point. I'm harboring on this morning. 'Tis the point. You know. You also have overstaying the people country now. Know a lot of you watching us from the diaspora. You also have overstaying the people country. 3,100 Guyanese overstayed in 2023. 3,100. My God. I mean, I like Uncle Sam country, I can't like. When I go to the US, I feel empowered. I feel like the impossible in GT is possible in this part of the world. You know, several times I was coming back. I'm in transit somewhere and I see the door mark exit. You know the only thing that keep me back? I see my name in Kaito front page. I see my name as a headline. You know, I watch the door. You know, and I remember my pastor talking about delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. Big shout out to Raphael Messiah, Reverend Doctor, First Assembly, Durban Street. Reverend Doctor. I saw my name in headlines, you know, and I suppressed the urge to run away from this country. I was going to overstay, no? I won't call it overstay. I run away. I suppressed the urge. I said, no. You're going to go out at some point, but don't do it like this. Right? Michelle, you feeling me? Kishan, Pamela? 31 Guyanese 3,100 Guyanese couldn't suppress the urge. Couldn't suppress the urge. I saw myself in headlines and news stories. And I remember when I was studying communications, studying communications. The program is called Communications Study. How do I say that now? Will it make sense? You can't say reading communications and the song's odd. When I was studying communications at University of Ghana, they say you report the news. Don't become the news, Sherrod. Report it. Do not become the news. So I kept hearing that too. Delayed gratification, don't become the news. And so, being guided thus, I have saved myself, stayed out of the headlines in that regard. You all know I don't like to be controversial. Like doing this little black tea. you all know I don't like to be controversial. 3,100 Guyanese. Some of you watching me right now, right? Keep sending the remittances, but contemplate as well returning home, you know, regularizing yourself. Regularizing yourself. Help us. Keep the flag flying the right way. But regularize your stay. Don't break the law. 3,100. Right? 3,100. Now you're getting people lashing the government with sanctions. Knocking the PPP government with sanctions. The people say you could soon have a bond system. I think it was implemented in the past and they kind of phased it out during COVID, right? Where you're going to pay a certain amount of money to enter the US of A. And if you don't overstay, when you're passing through the gate, you get back your money. And this could be between 10 and 15,000 US dollars. You don't overstay, you conduct yourself properly, you get back your money. Is this like a sanction? Is it? I saw Trump put some tariff on us and then increase it. Is it like a sanction? You gotta pay this 15,000 US bond and increase tariff and so on. I thought this is nice time on the earphone and Jack Deao. I thought this is nice time. This looks a little strange to me. Looks a little strange to me. Them boys say everything is okay, right? Everything is okay. So Anil at a meeting last evening on the East Coast, right? Saying everything nice. GPL says this morning, look, you see this prolonged blackout you all have here? Scorch panel. It's not rat this time. It's not the birds without the wire. It's the rats nibbling the fuse box. You know, people and animals hungry like in this country is one thing. One thing we unified on. You know, across the animal kingdom. Things tight in this country. Birds eating electric wire now. High voltage electric wire. Rats nibbling away at the fuse box and panel. Right? You think it's easy in this country? So Anil was on the East Coast talking about how nice things nice. And people in blackout. Prolonged blackout too, you know. But this time GPL says scorched breaker panel. Scorched breaker panel. Scorched breaker panel led to this prolonged blackout on the East Coast. How long does it take to unscorch the panel? The thousands of you watching us. To unscorch the breaker panel and regularize things. How long do you think that's take? Maybe a third power ship later. Power will be restored. Electricity will be restored. A third power ship later. How long does it take to replace a breaker panel? Now it's letting this prolong. Maybe we're going to import it. Maybe we're going to wait till Parliament reconvenes. You see, until Parliament reconvenes to appropriate the monies for the new breaker panel. But it has led to prolonged blackouts on the East Coast. Yeah. And while the residents are in blackout, right, Anil, whose name is called a lot on the East Coast, right? Anil Body, a name calling. He says that the PPP last night at the rally in Success, I think it was, wherever it was. PPPC has returned pride and dignity to Guyana. Notwithstanding prolonged blackouts on the East Coast, they have returned pride and dignity in and through the blackouts. How much of people going to see him when he was saying that? I wish your folks could have seen him when he was saying that. Pride and dignity. You see? Pride and dignity. Wow. And you notice how they do these things with a strange face. That is the height of the kerfuffleation. It's how they can say these things with pride and dignity with a straight face. You know? But give them it for belly, yeah? He making a lot of other things, but he belly to say them. You know, one of the really perplexing things, and it's a pity those elections petition or the election petitions did not go through and were properly ventilated and interrogated in the court system of this country. It's all the ballot boxes that were found on the East Coast that did not have the statutory documentation inside. No poll book and no stubs and, you know, everything that should tell us how the ballots got in the box. 47 boxes without their statutory documentation. And interestingly, all of them were from communities that traditionally vote PPC. All of them, interestingly. And we have never got to a conclusion on how all of those boxes ended up without their statutory documents. Because, of course, GCOM refused to do an investigation into any lapses that happened on its watch for the 2020 general and regional elections. I mean, if they didn't even bother to read or much less implement any of the recommendation from the observer missions internationally, like the EU, like the Commonwealth, like CARICOM, like the Carter Center, a plethora of recommendations, not one got implemented in 5 years. Under the name calling. Last evening we examined the recent elevation momentarily of Roxanne George Wiltshire, Justice, to act now as Chancellor. Do you think all of that is just happening in isolation? Huh? You think when the Caribbean Court of Justice says to our AG, you have brought our entire system of the administration of justice into disrepute? They said it willy-nilly. But this is the character of people, the caliber, the cadre that the PP keeps churning up. Prolonged blackouts on the East Coast. And Ireland has the nerve, the gumption, the temerity to talk about PP returning pride and dignity. You only left out blackouts. Returning blackouts in this country as well. You know, but I'm happy we got the observers, as I said. Saw them meeting with the ERC. I hope they spend a long time with the ERC. I hope they spend a long time with the ERC. The ERC is very convenient. Very convenient. Very, very convenient. Like some of the banking institutions in this country. Tremendously convenient. Bigly convenient. But I'm happy that we got the observer missions with us. I think the European Union, they're the latest. And you better watch very keenly. Half of the set pieces, the infrastructure, the scaffolding for the rigging of the 2025 election already put in place. But I know you all are smart people. That's why your countries are far more advanced than we are. You know. So I have no doubt you all know what you all know. So we welcome all of the observer missions who are here with us. You know, each and every one of them. Each and every one of them. We welcome them. And we're going to examine a couple of other issues this morning we did talk about the elevation of the acting Chief Justice to acting Chancellor. There's a lot of acting in this country, you know. You don't know when we're serious or when we're acting. Too much acting in this country. Too much acting. Congratulations, nonetheless, to the justices that were elevated to act as chancellor, to act as Chief Justice. You know, if that is not an indictment in this regime, you got two eminently qualified women, eminently qualified, and you got to go around them and over them. And I see a man stand on a stage in London and say he's respected. And Roxanne George Wiltshire, is she respected enough to be appointed substantive Chief Justice? Justice Janet Cummings Edwards, is she respected enough? He's loved and appreciated. You know, people bring too much of feelings in politics. Can they just say that? You come to change the lives of people, everything else is incidental. You don't come looking for a spouse, a sweet lady, a Spanish. You don't come looking for hugs and kisses and love letters. Everything is feelings. All my life, I've had these feelings. Feelings. Everybody the feelings. I feel loved. I feel appreciated. Every day here for 5 years, people talking about pig farm. Who wouldn't thief money for pig farm? Who wouldn't thief money for bar? And then suddenly, people feel loved and appreciated. Suddenly people feel loved. I hear quite a few persons who have walked over to some side. Oh, I was never appreciated. I was never, Jesus mercy. They never hugged me enough. They never breastfed me enough. God of mercy. You know? High maintenance. Some people got to call them every single day. You're loved. We appreciate you. You're valuable. You're a star boy. You're a star girl. Oh, you could speak well. Oh, you're eloquent. Oh, you're dressed nice. Oh, you're pretty. Oh, you're handsome. Oh, take a rub back. Oh, I'll rub you one good foot. My God. High maintenance. That's why when you get some work, must be able to operate independently. Is a go-getter, a self-starter. Jesus of mercy. Feelings. Nobody never called me. Oh, they didn't invite me to this meeting. Oh, I didn't know about this. I never know about that. Jesus. It's a feelings generation. Every goddamn thing is feelings. I feel appreciated because the guy you knocking nail and flags. Jesus mercy. 5 years I stood in the National Assembly and here pig, cow. You thief this, you thief that. You're worthless, you're useless, you're a rigger. One day suddenly, I'm appreciated. Look, let hold of focus. Let hold of focus and stay on track. Let hold of focus and stay on track. You know? I hate pity party. I hate whiners. I despise it. You got a pity party in this electoral cycle. Pity parties, participants. Whiners. Jesus. Oh, you see what they do, man? Oh, you see what they do, man? Oh, look what they do. Look, oh, Jesus, mercy. Can we get on with it? Right? Everybody's injured. We never do nobody nothing. Right? We never do nobody nothing. Naomi, Mark, Nigel, Marlene, Chanel. Something ever happened to you? It was horrific. It was hurtful. It was painful. But you just shut your mouth. Because you know, when you study this thing and what you have done to people, you say, Lord, I take it as retribution. Right? I take it as retribution. I don't think that's the right word, but let it suffice for now. I take it as payback. I wasn't a pie in my young days. I see why this girl, why this boy coming the way to come. I see why my daughter like this. I never tell shit. But I'm a little swift when I'm younger. I see. You know, when the apple fall, don't fall too far. I see why you coming like. I see why she coming like. I wasn't easy. You just take it to your chest. You know, and you go about your business. Because you know you do people things too. Some little thing happen. Oh God. Whining all the damn time. Take them. That's what I really mean. I can't take whiners. I can't do it. You know? Some people hold it, my head out in, my foot out in, my back, oh, my little pressure. Oh, my eye twinkling. Like I can't I can't take you. So many days I soldier. You know, limping along, soldiering. You got a cold, but you're in the rain. The doctor said cover your mole, but you're in the rain. You know? The doctor tell you, but protect yourself against the lightning cold, but you're in the dew. But you gotta go. Lightning cold, this, that, big foot, white mouth. Whatever it is. Jesus have mercy. Some people since the hair start breaking. Oh God, look, the devil fighting me. Oh. The back hurting. Oh, this is it. Very well led. The program might have anything. The program might have the wall, come on. Since the low back hurting. A little thing on the finger. Then I'm going on the outreach tomorrow. Then I'm going on the walkabout tomorrow. The rain set up. Well, I can stay home. This thing. It's a sign. Yeah. Back in the day, they had a generation of vipers with a generation of whiners and complainers. Right? Them boys prosecute me 2 years, 3 years in the court system. I ain't there every day whining. Oh, they come for arrest me. Oh, they after me. Oh, they tap the phone. Oh, they bug the mic. They watch me through the cameras. I want to hear some of the policies, but oh God, is he whining for me? I want to hear some of the plans, provisions, the vision. Is he whining? Whine, 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 whine. Zing, 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 zing. Them like you, everything's about you. So the Mr. Muhammad was in Sophia. Step News headline says he's confident about winning the next election. He's confident. I just remember the whiners. This wasn't the headline. That's why I'm laughing. It's the whiners for me. You know, I wish God had met some people like Chanel Smith Daniels. Strong. Teflon. You know? Look, listen to me. When my time comes, I'm not Muslim. All right? I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. right? I'm Christian. I don't practice all the time, Broke a couple vows, 1 and 2 times. But see, when my role is called up yonder, when the role is called up yonder, hey, do like the Muslims. Here today, gone tomorrow. 1 week, 2 weeks in above ground. No. Life is in fire. Quick, fast, in a hurry. You know how the British do it? The king is dead. Long live the king. Next. Go on with it. You get long, go wrong, come. Send me to the fire quick. Right? I have seen some beautiful rivers over the last few days. Scatter my ashes and get on with it. Some people want to 3-day lower the flag, fly in somebody. If you didn't hear when it happened, you weren't meant to be here. Move on with it. Come and eat little food, repass, go past, go back, come forward. Some people are in the grave, they're whining, Oh God, I like these flowers. It's why they bring me by this big tree, I tell them I never like big bush. Why they got me wrong? Even in the grave, they're whining. So, how much better is fire? He said they're going to win this election. They're going to win. They're convinced they're going to win. Right? They're going to win. What's interesting here? Know the headline. What I want to recommend for your reading pleasure this morning, right? Following my own advice is moving on. Starbucks News has an instructive editorial today. Azruddin Muhammad's candidacy. And look, I can be a spoiler. They weren't kind to him. Right? Expect them to whine about that. Starbucks News was not kind. That's the spoiler. They were not kind. You can see the editorial on Team Muhammad's page. They were not kind. So I want to give you that as homework. Required reading. Over coffee. Your mid-morning coffee. But I want to point to 2 things that's instructive. Starbucks News editorial today. The Azruddin Muhammad's candidacy. Right? I am very happy. I've been trained, and I trained myself, never to be excited by people, what people have, how people live. You can appreciate, but never get excited by it, giddy. What people got is theirs, right? If they got a Lambo and you got a Flambo, I'm contented. Whatever is my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Right? You see, it's that in between. It's got a lot of people problems, One of the things that fascinates me is seeing somebody who ain't got it try to pretend as though they're up there. I got my freedom. I value that. No bank can card me and say, take out your money. I can pick up myself any day. As long as I get the $2, as my auntie said, in my pocket. Buy a plane ticket, I go into the States. I value that. A lot of people got money in the camp. The movement's curtailed. But one of the instructive things for this editorial that I'm recommending for you all this morning, right, is Topic News editorial saying, while the sanctions were an indictment on the conduct of the Mohammeds, it was also an indictment on the PPP government. Because in that book that was published by OFAC, spelling out the indictment, it was like a book. It talks about government officials who had received bribes in the PP government, who were facilitators of the corruption and the skullduggery. And so this editorial in this morning's Topic News says, the indictment was not only about the Mohammeds, it was about the PPP as well. And listen to Anil talk about dignity being returned. Dignity being returned. Another issue the editorial pointed out is how little is known about Mr. Mohammed's education, how he made his money, how the business flourished, who was involved, certain decisions that were made. All of those things, I am recommending this again to you beautiful folks, this editorial, Azruddin Mohammed's candidacy, as required reading. Don't get giddy just yet. The editorial says the PPP equally culpable. You see, if Guyanese are thinking straight and correctly, this election was only about one choice, you know. Right? Well, if it's one, it's probably not even a choice. The thing is so clear. It is so clear about the choices that exist in this election. It is so clear. Here what part of that indictment says. Let's have a news rehearsed in this editorial. To conceal their illegal activities and operate with impunity, Azruddin and Mohammed Enterprise have engaged in extensive bribery schemes involving the government officials in Guyana. This includes providing direct and recurring bribery payments to Guyanese government officials to ensure favorable treatment in criminal and civil matters that will otherwise suggest their involvement in illegal criminal activities. And here is the point the editorial made that I was pointing out. Mind you, this is what the editorial says, mind you, that statement was as much an indictment of the PPPC administration as it was of the Mohammeds. That's the first thing I said I wanted to point out to you folks. The very first thing. Right? The other thing that is editorial point out is the management of this country. The management. Here the editorial says, talking about what is needed to move this country forward, saying that if you think we've had a windfall already out of the oil industry, the oil sector, what is to come will pale all of that by comparison. And if you have people at the top who are only concerned about themselves and not about the ordinary man, we're in trouble. Right? Here the editorial says about the PPP government, just in passing, right? Just in passing, that transformative planning has not been in evidence. We can't see it. Transformative planning has not been in evidence from the PPPC government over the last 5 years. And to the contrary, there has been a concentration of resources in oil and gas and infrastructure, right? With little manifestation of the 50,000 jobs that had been promised. Little manifestation of transformative planning and the manifestation of this 50,000 jobs that have been promised. You see, somebody pointed out the other day as we wrap up, they say, look at the PPP rallies. It's all about song, dance, and flashing lights. They don't talk about policy. They don't talk about what they've done. Song, dance, gyration, flashing lights, and balloons. And then here's it editorial this morning, talking about how little is known of the Muhammad. And how he, when asked a question, he goes to every other thing. You see what they do with me here? You see the Prime Minister? You see how they're coming after me? You see? Without getting to the heart of whatever the specific question is. Read today's Starbucks News editorial for yourself. Spoiler, it wasn't kind to Team Mohammed to win. It was not kind at all. It was not kind. One of the things the editorial asked, when did this notion of running for president emerge? What was the advent of it? Before the sanctions, after the sanctions, or in between? Read the editorial. Read it. Now, I picked this editorial when we saw it. Because if I come and say, oh, you say, oh, this is Apnu talking down. Another nonsense I hear them saying. You level any criticism against them. Oh, all of you on this side fighting the PPP. So why think? No. All of us are the same. We got a candidate, then this thing 50 plus years. He got one sanction against him. Right? He got one fraud charge against. All of us not the same on this side. I'm sorry. All of us not the same. Oh, why this all of us fighting the people? No. Right? All been fighting the people. Some of you got on a velvet glove, hoping to be welcome back home like guitar. All been fighting them. Sorry. All been fighting them. Some of you all is friends and rich people fighting among yourselves. The rest of us here, we're in the struggle. A luto continua. That's our time this morning, folks. And that's our program. Thanks for joining us, Rastaman and Alson and Akeem and Shandel and Neville and all the other folks. Required reading this morning. This Starbucks News editorial. Starbucks News should call us a check every time we promote them in this way. We're going to share that link with you all, just because we're kind this evening. Just because we're kind. Thanks for being here with us this morning, folks. That's going to do this with us from this end, for us from this end. You all have a fantastic day. And stop the whining. Nobody steal your joy. Elizabeth, Naomi, and Gwazi, all the other folks, Mark, and all you beautiful folks. Thanks for joining us this morning. That's our time. That's our program. We can see you back at the end of the day, folks. And then we're off. We're off again from the outside. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe. That's our time. And that's our program. We're going to see you guys on the next one. Yep, I think something is happening. Something is happening very, very soon in Linden before you guys go.
You think I foolish? Ain't nobody playing. I voted up new. You could come with.
Be part of the APNU Motorcade on Sunday, the 10th of August. We head to Linden Town. Jump in a car, jump in a bus, hop on a bike. Once it's rolling, we're moving. But wait, Berbice, Region 4, Georgetown, Region 3. No man moves alone. With the APNU, we're moving together. Assembly Point Square of the Revolution at 11 a.m., where we will pour libation. The motorcade leaves at 12 noon. We head to the town where the bauxite is found. Linden Town. Get your rags, get your flags, get something green and be seen on Sunday the 10th of August on the Square of the Revolution at 11 a.m. The motorcade heads to Linden Town at 12 noon. APNU.
I got a voice and I go use it.
Putting people first.
And I won't lose it. Can't buy my voting, not with nothing. I standing up for my